What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Darren, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy, man. We talk about fragrances and fashion on this channel, so if you love looking good and smelling great, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also make sure you hit that bell icon as well to ensure you get notified when I upload new content on the channel. Man, I just did that super fast. Super fast. Look, I had coffee this morning, guys. You know how I get down. So I'm rocking and rolling this morning. That went super fast. It was smooth, though. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, look, man, I ain't gonna even hold you, fellas. I ain't gonna hold you. This list is fire, guys. This is fire, cuz. I'm just telling you what it is. I know that may not sound like the most humble thing to say, but it is what it is. This is fire, cuz. So get ready. Get your popcorn ready. Get your popcorn ready, because I got 10 of my top 10, well, my top 10 niche winter fragrances, man. I dropped the designer fragrance list earlier during the week, so here comes my top 10 niche winter fragrances. And like I said, this is fire, cuz, this list. So let's just get into it, man. You want to see what's on the list? You know how we rock. Keep it locked right here. All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in, man. Before I go into the actual top 10, I have 4 honorable mentions, and I have a very specific reason why each of these are honorable mentions. The first one, of course, is my fragrance, which is Serenade. And this is an honorable mention because I'm not going to be that guy, okay? I'm not going to throw my fragrances in the top 10 list, but I will tell you, it definitely deserves a spot on a winter niche fragrance list because this stuff is fire, man. This is my baby right here. It's boozy. You have that chocolate in here. This thing is absolutely phenomenal. And the people that have gotten their hands on this for the most part absolutely love this fragrance. And right now, Novitas is actually having a anniversary sale, 2nd year anniversary sale. So if you want to pick up this or my other fragrance or buy it or any fragrances, honestly, from the Novitas range of fragrances, right now they're doing a sale where if you buy 1, you get 30% off, 2, 35%, 3 is 40%. 4 is 50%, I think, and so forth and so on. And the more you buy, the more you save. So head over to novitusplatforms.com right now and pick up this as well as any other fragrances from the Novitas range that you have not gotten while the offer still stands. I think the day after Thanksgiving it will end. Also, another honorable mention for me is this one. I just reviewed this or gave my first impressions more so for bond number 9, Nomad. Now, it's a nice fruity opening, and I was corrected on the last video. It is Quince, I think is the name of the fruit, not quiche. I looked right at it and said the wrong thing. But anyway, nice fruity opening. I think there's black currant in this as well, but there's a nice vanilla oody kind of dry down. But it's not overly a winter fragrance to me, but I did just get it, so I am going to be rocking it, so it's an honorable mention. Ombre Leather from Louis Vuitton. This is an honorable mention because a lot of people struggle where to put the exclusive lines of fragrances, the private blend collections, and high-end designer fragrances like Louis Vuitton. But to me, it's unfair to really place this with the designer fragrances because oftentimes the exclusive collections, the private collections, and fragrances like this, they use a little bit better ingredients. They're a little bit more well done, a little bit more time and attention to these fragrances. So I don't like to put them with the designers. And then I know, of course, technically they aren't niche. So it will come in as an honorable mention, but I absolutely love this fragrance. This fragrance is everything right here. Rose and oud from Louis Vuitton, kind of animalic, leathery thing, but this stuff is good. And my last honorable mention goes to, this is a relatively new fragrance house, but it's called L'Oreal Paris, and this one is called Nuage Noir. And man, this stuff is good. It has all the stuff I love in it. It's a little bit gourmand. Oh my gosh, man, this stuff is good. I'm going to be doing a first impressions of this as well as the other 3 fragrances I picked up from this house. But guys, be on the lookout for this house. They do fragrances really, really well. They're a house in Paris, but they have Middle Eastern kind of influences to it. So as you can imagine, spicy oud kind of fragrances. But man, this one right here is really good. So that comes in as another honorable mention. Now, let's go ahead and jump right into the top 10. All right, guys, coming in at the 10th spot this year for me, I'm going to the house of Nichane, and this fragrance is called Ani. This is called Ani, and honestly, guys, this fragrance is really about the vanilla to me. It has vanilla, You have some rose in here and benzoin. So it's really this dry, some dry woodsy notes in here as well. But you, again, prominently, the most prominent note in here is that vanilla. It's really about vanilla. This is a beautiful vanilla scent from the house of Nichane. Oh man, it's just really good. The reason why it's in the 10th spot for me is because I'm starting to notice I have a lot of great vanilla fragrances in my collection. So I'm getting to the point now with vanilla where I'm starting to go in another direction when I actually choose fragrances again. I don't want stuff to be overly redundant in my collection, but nonetheless, this is a beautiful vanilla scent from the house of Nichane. This is called Ani. All right, guys, coming in at the 9th spot for me on this year's list. I had this fragrance on my winter list before, and it's really good in the winter time. Trust me. Done by Maurice Roussel. This one is called Musc Ravageur from Frederic Malle. Musc Ravageur, and I've talked about this fragrance a lot on the channel, man, but it's really hard to do a winter niche list. This is one of the ones that's hard for me not to put it on the list because it's really good. Again, you got the musk and you have the cinnamon in this fragrance enclosed, and I love this stuff. In the winter time, it's so good, man. When you walk outside and it's cold outside and you're wearing this fragrance right here, that whole cinnamon vibe that people talk about, that I've talked about in reference to this fragrance, it just comes to life. The cinnamon comes to life on this fragrance. It's an amazing winter fragrance right here. Very nostalgic for me as well. This is one of those fragrances that was kind of like the one of those fragrances that everybody just talked about when I kind of entered into niche fragrances. This is one that I was very intrigued by, and I was not disappointed when I finally got it. But anyway, comes in at the 9th spot this year from Frederic Malle. This is called Musc Ravageur. Coming in at the 8th spot this year, this fragrance comes from the house of Xerjoff, and this is called Alexandria II. Alexandria II. Now guys, you know a list is fire when Alexandria II comes in at the 8th spot. But this has that apple cinnamon thing that I like. I really love that combination of note and fragrances. Just like, I really love the rose oud combination. I love apples and cinnamon. I used to like Apple Jacks a lot as a kid. I mean, what can I say? I mean, what else would you expect from a kid that like Apple Jacks? But love apple, love cinnamon, worked really well in this fragrance, and it dries down. The primary note that my nose catches is that vanilla. Apples, cinnamon, vanilla. What's not to love about that? That's why this fragrance is on the list, man. In the 8th spot, this is Alexandria II. All right, now coming in at the 7th spot this year, this fragrance comes from the house of Atelier des Ors, and this one is called Lune Feline. Lune Feline, another amazing vanilla fragrance, but this is more of a smoky vanilla fragrance. This has styrax in it. It has vanilla. This one also has cinnamon in this as well. Oh man, this stuff is just so good. Again, it's a smoky vanilla fragrance. That's the best way to describe this fragrance right here. I love the bottle, love the presentation, love the fragrance, love the flakes that floats around in Lune Feline. All the fragrances from this house have those flakes in there, man. It's really cool to look at. Reminds me of perfect time of year for this, because it reminds me of the remember those little globes you used to have see when you were a kid that had snow in it. I think I had one that had Snoopy in it from Charlie Brown one time, so you're shaking around in the snowflakes. Anyway, maybe it's just me, but this one is really good, man, from the house of Atelier des Ors. Make sure you check out Lune Feline. All right guys, coming in at the, what is this, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 spot right here from the house of Amouage. This one is called Boundless. Boundless. I think this fragrance was released earlier this year. Oh man. Bourbon vanilla, you have tobacco in this as well, and you have incense. This thing is absolutely amazing, man. This is one of the best ones that was released after the takeover and the change of direction of creative director from Amouage. This is one of the best ones that they have come out with since that time, man. This stuff is absolutely amazing. Again, the bourbon, vanilla, the incense, and the tobacco are the main notes that you're going to get from this. If you have not put your nose on it yet, you need to, because this thing comes to life in the cold weather. I wore this last week when it was really cold out, and man, this thing shines like a diamond. So make sure you put your nose on this one from the house of Amouage. Of course, that's why I made the list, man. This is called Boundless. All right, guys, the next fragrance on the list, we're getting into the top 5. This one comes from the house of Roger Dove, and this is called Enigma, aka Creation E. And guys, I have the original version of this. This is the Parfum Cologne. And man, guess what? When I wear this one, I really appreciate what they did in this particular concentration, I would say, of this fragrance. It's a little bit toned down from the original Creation E or Enigma. And I really, really like that. Again, I don't get extremely cold temperatures down south. And that's why something like this really works for me. I get the same thing that I get from the original Creation E, but honestly, it's a little bit easier to wear, a little bit more wearable in just about any situation. And that's what I love about this boozy cognac fragrance right here. Cognac, vanilla. Again, there's a lot of notes in this, but anyway, it's really, really good. And that's why I have it on the list. I love the Parfum Cologne version of this fragrance. So check it out. Again, this is called Enigma. All right, guys, coming in at the 4th spot on this list this year, my top 10 winter niche fragrances. This one comes from the House of Parfums de Marly, and this is Layton Exclusif. Layton Exclusif. I was a little bit late to the party getting my hands on this one, but man, good things come to those who wait. I love this stuff. I was a little bit scared to get this originally because it has a note of civet in this. And our civet really gives this kind of, in a lot of fragrances, really off-putting kind of fecal, animalic fecal kind of thing. And I was a little bit scared to put my nose on it and get this, but when I got it, I could not have been more wrong because it's not really that prominent. I really don't really pick it up. It kind of just adds to the darkness of this fragrance, and that's, of course, what I think they were going for. They wanted to give you a darker interpretation of the latent DNA. And man, they pulled it off brilliantly. To my nose, the main difference in this is the oud and the oud and the coffee, I would probably say, are the main things that I get from this. Patchouli, very prominent patchouli as well. So again, it's a darker interpretation of the original, especially the oud, coffee, and the patchouli are the things that I pick up the most. But you still get the latent DNA, but again, add that oud, add that coffee, and that patchouli, and that's this right here, man. This stuff is fantastic. It performs a little bit better than the original. That was really good, but man, this stuff really works well in the cold temperatures. I would wear the original Layton in the fall and this in the winter. So check it out, guys, from Parfums de Marly. This is Layton Exclusif. And I will be honest, I had to wait on the bigger bottle. I could get my hands on the bigger bottle. I like all my bottles to be the same size. I didn't want that little itty bitty 75 ml bottle. No disrespect to people that have it. I'm just saying what I like. So check it out. This is Layton Exclusif. All right, guys, the next fragrance on the list coming in at the 3rd spot this year. This fragrance comes from the House of Fragrance du Bois. I've talked about it a lot recently. This one is called New York Intense. New York Intense, and I love this one because it smells a lot like Jubilation 25. Although it's not as, if this makes sense, it's not as Middle Eastern as Jubilation 25 is. It is a, Jubilation 25 is a master piece in my humble opinion. I know, but for some reason it can be a little bit challenging when you have those heavy spices in that fragrance. So for some people, it's not as wearable for some people. But this one to me is, I would say, a little bit more of a wearable interpretation of Jubilation 25. That's the best way for me to describe it without going into a laundry list of notes that is in this thing. But if you like Jubilation 25, or if you kind of liked it, but it was a little bit too out there, a little bit too in your face, a little bit too animalic for you, this may be the cure. This stuff is freaking phenomenal from the House of Fragrance du Bois. Again, this is called New York Intense. All right, guys, and coming in at the number 2 spot on this list, this one comes from the House of Initio Parfums, and this is called Bless Baraka. Bless Baraka. Now, guys, I will tell you right now, if this is number 2, you know number 1 has to be absolutely dynamite, because I love this freaking fragrance right here. Musk, sandalwood, and cinnamon are the main notes to my nose. Musk, sandalwood, and cinnamon, and this stuff is phenomenal, man. I just really cannot get enough of this fragrance. It just smells phenomenal. It's classy, it's sophisticated, but it gives me just that right amount of that sweetness that I really like in fragrances. It's not a gourmand by any means, but there's like this gourmand kind of tendency that it has that I love. If you can give me sophistication with a little touch of gourmand, you got me. And that's what this fragrance does, honestly, really well. I love this one. My favorite Initio Parfum fragrance. This one is called Bless Baraka. And last but not least, the number 1 fragrance in my collection this year, 2021 on the niche side. goes to one of my favorite fragrances from Kilian. This is Angel Share. Angel Share. Boozy goodness. Oh my God. Cedarwood, cognac, praline, tonka bean, vanilla. Stuff is good. This is so good. This is so good. Sometimes I just want to cry when I smell it. It's good. This stuff is good, man. This stuff is good. Make sure you check it out, guys. Check it out, check it out, check it out. This is in my top 10 fragrances in my entire collection. May do a video like that soon, because the more fragrances you acquire, sometimes that really changes. Well, it does change a lot. And this is just, when I think about a gourmand scent, it really just doesn't get much better than this to me. Oh my God. My number one winter niche fragrance goes to Angel Share from Kilian. All right, that's it, man. That's my time. I hope you enjoyed my top 10 winter niche fragrances for the year of 2021. As always, I sincerely appreciate your support, your viewership. Thank you for watching my videos. I know you don't have to do it, but you do, and I sincerely appreciate that. Now, don't forget, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and are sharing these videos out to some other folks that you think could use this information or that may find it entertaining, because I'm your guy, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.